15-second warning. Okay.
And 4:35. Are you ready? Recording? Yes,
We're
no.
ready.
Okay. Minecraft Tuesday, week Lance,
Four.
what week is it? Week 4. Today is going to be a busy day. We have two subjects that we are going to run through just so we can get ready for our project. The first subject is going to be resource packs. They're really important. Well, mildly important when it comes to making data packs. That way you can create custom textures for, say, blocks or animals. That's more complex, but or in today, items. Uh the other thing will be right click detection. That Lance will take you through. We will do carrot on a stick right click detection and a simple raycast using area effect clouds. But we'll get there when we get there. To start off with resource packs, we are actually going to need to install a program. So, really quickly, we are going to pull up. I thought I had this open. Okay. We're going to pull up BLOCKBENCH. BLOCKBENCH is a 3D modeling tool that a lot of resource packers use to create 3D models for, say, items like we will be doing today. So you quickly search up BLOCKBENCH on Google. You open up their little web page, and you should see an option that says download. We're going to click that. Now, depending on the system you're using, you can choose your system. I use Windows. If you're using a Mac, obviously Apple Silicon or Intel chip. That just means older MacBooks use Intel processors, newer MacBooks use Apple Silicon. If you click the About Your Mac button, it should tell you what type of processor you have. For Windows, though, we're going to choose Installer. Now, that should download over here. Whenever it does, we are going to open it. We are going to open it. There we go. So it should start installing by itself. You don't necessarily need to configure anything. And once it's installed, you have a block bench. Wow. From here, we're going to make a Java block slash item. And that is how we are going to create our model. Now we're going to quickly call this our item name, which would go under file name. I want to call it, since we're making a gun today, if I didn't tell you already, we are making the Pew Pew. I'll call it Pew Pew. I'm going to set texture size to 64. If you've ever installed a resource pack before, you might see X64, X32, X16. That just tells you how many pixels there are per face. We want 64 pixels just to allow it to look as good as we can. You can do 32 or 16. It'll just look a lot more chunky and pixelated like normal Minecraft. Normal Minecraft runs on 16 by 16. So once you got that, you don't want to change anything else here. Ambient inclusion should be on per face UV. Parent model, we don't necessarily need to worry about. So then we're going to click confirm. And this is our empty scene for BlockBench. Before we mess with BlockBench, though, we're going to quickly minimize out of this. And we're going to go back into Minecraft. Now, just like data packs, resource packs have a very specific file structure that you need to use, just so the game can tell what textures are being pulled from where and applied onto what. So we're going to quickly make our resource pack. So you want to go to, when you go into the options menu, options, and you should see a button called resource packs. We're going to click that and open pack folder. Here I have a bunch of resource packs that you probably won't have. You don't need to worry about this stuff. We're just going to right click here new folder, and we're going to name our resource pack. I want to name it Minecraft Tuesday. You can name it whatever you want. Oop, I forgot to open this. Okay. So, once we get into this Minecraft Tuesday folder, we're going to need two things. One will be an assets folder. And just like our data pack, we need a pack.mc meta. So the way I'm going to do it, I'm going to create a text document, change the whole thing, and make it pack.mc meta. You want to make sure you change the file extension and not just the name. It should give you a little warning, and change this here to type mc meta file. We're going to open this pack.mc meta real quick. If it decides to open. Okay, here we go. So you should have a pack.mc meta. In here, just like with the data pack, we want to define some stuff about our resource pack. So I will put this into the Minecraft Tuesday chat, but just to show you how it's going to look. We will have two curly brackets, open and close. Inside these curly brackets, we're going to type in pack within quotations, colon, space, open curly bracket, and then on the next line, quotations, pack underscore format. So just like the data pack format, we want a certain number. I'm going to set it to 8. That's going to be outdated, but that's the one I tend to use. And then we can set a description. Uh, what do I want to say?
Yo, Aditya, Adrian asked
Yeah.
if you can go over how to create the
Oh,
BLOCKBENCH project again, because he just got it.
BLOCKBENCH project. Okay. So once you install BLOCKBENCH, you should be able to click Java block/item, create new model, and then we'll set the file name to what we want to call our item. So in my case, I called it pew pew. You can call it whatever you want. And then we're going to set the texture size to 64 and 64. You don't need to change the UV mode, ambient occlusion, or parent model. Does that help?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is
Sorry,
there anything after that?
after that we start on the resource pack stuff. Do you want me to go over that
Uh,
again?
no, I got it. Yeah,
Okay.
thanks.
So back to the pack.mc meta. This is going to be our little description here. Once you have this all filled out, we're going to save. Let me put this into the Minecraft Tuesday chat real quick. Here we go. So now we can close out of this pack.mc meta and go back to the folder that we had open. In here, we're going to open assets. We're going to create a new folder called Minecraft. Now you may already see some similarities between the resource pack file format and the data pack file format. Minecraft generally tends to use the same file structure when it defines external assets such as resource packs or data packs. So you will tend to see similar file structures if you do go deeper into Minecraft development. So inside this Minecraft folder, we're going to create two new folders called models and textures. Models is where we're going to define the JSON files for each of our items that we create. Textures is where we load the little PNG files that load onto those models. So we're going to go into models real quick and create a folder called item. And then inside item, this is generally not done with beginners, but it is good common practice. We're going to create a folder called custom. So when we create a 3D model in BLOCKBENCH, it gives us a JSON file. That JSON file defines where each texture is applied onto the 3D model we created. So inside custom is where we're going to put that JSON file. And then outside custom, we need to define the item itself that is being used for our custom item, since that has to be tied to a regular Minecraft item. In the case of today, we're going to be using a carrot on a stick, because that's what we'll be using for right-click detection. But you can use any item with, like a stick or a netherite hoe. But you have to remember that there are we'll get into this a little later, but there are specific requirements as to the type of item that you can use. So once we have this file structure set up, we're going to go back into Minecraft, go into textures, and we're going to create a folder called custom. Now this one is mandatory. You have to make sure that you have the custom folder here. So now, once we're done with that, we can go back into BLOCKBENCH. Ooh. I'm going to wait a second, give you a little time to catch up. Let me know if you're good, Adrian, then we can keep going.
Oh yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in BLOCKBENCH, we have a few different options, right? But most of the time, we will be using cubes. If I can see it. Okay, here we go. This is our cube. It will be the basis of our model. Now, we can just like Unity, you can move the object around, scale it up and down, rotate it, pivot it, things like that. We are making a pew pew, which means we need this in the center right here. Now, when you move this around, you can either do it by the pixel, or you can do it in increments by decimal. To do that, if you're on Windows, you'll use the control button and then drag. If you're on Mac, you'll use the command button and drag. I'm on Windows, so I'll be using control. Then we want to align it with the center and drag it over. There we go. I'm a perfectionist.
Don't you mean professional?
Both.
Val.
Okay. Once we get this, we have a first block in place. Now, we don't want to drag that block over from the corner every time we create a new block. So what we can do is duplicate the block. That spawns it in the same place as the previous block and allows you to move it from there. Now, say I want different parts to my gun, such as handle, for example. We will create a group, and then we can rename it to handle. So right now, let's create the little grip of our weapon. So I want to scale it down a bit so it looks like it fits in our hand. So I'm going to select the resize option up here. And then we are going to pull in the blue. I should have done that with control. You can control Z to undo, by the way. So you hold control and then you shrink it just a bit. I'm going to shrink it to negative 0.3 on all sides. There we go. Now I can duplicate this, drag it up, and I want to bring this down below the axis. There is a maximum height to which you can build this, right? And to make sure I don't hit that maximum height, I want to go both above and below the axis of, or the grid that I was given. So from here, I can duplicate this, and I want to rotate to create the barrel. So I'm going to quickly create a new group, rename it, and I'll call it barrel. And I'm going to drag it out into the main tree. I'm going to take this new duplicate and drag it into this group. Now what I'm going to do is rotate it. That's not right. Uh, that is an issue I have never seen before, but if that happens, we can just move it back up into place. And then we should have our little barrel. And I want to extend this just a bit. So I'm going to duplicate and do it again. Now, obviously, we need a little trigger on our gun, right? So we're going to take this block right here as part of the handle. We're going to duplicate it, and we'll bring it out. Now I'm going to shrink this. And shrink it a bit more. Shrink it like that. And then we'll move it up. And there you go. You have your model. That's bothering me just a bit. Hold on. There we go. Now we have a model. From here, I'm going to show you how to save real quick. So when we save for the first time on our model, we're going to do File and Save Project As. That's going to give you a .bb model file. You can save that anywhere you want, really. It doesn't matter. I tend to like to save it within my Minecraft folder. Not my Minecraft folder, my Documents folder. I'm going insane. So you want to save that somewhere outside of your resource pack. It's going to mess with the resource pack if you save it inside the resource pack. So we're going to drag that over to Documents and then close. Then we're going to want to export and export block/item model. That should give you your little JSON file. That JSON file is going to go into models, item. Oh, that's not the right file. So to find your file, which I probably should have told you, you're going to go into folder. And if you click up here in the bar, it should highlight the path for the folder that you are in. So if you Control C that real quick. This doesn't work for Mac, by the way. You're just going to have to manually find the file. So if you Control C that, go back into BLOCKBENCH, export block/item, and then paste in that file path. Go into models, item, and custom. That's where you're going to save your JSON file. And then you've saved the model. Now, before we go ahead and texture this, let's make sure this is working. So to make it work, you want to go back into your resource pack, models, item. Inside the item folder, we're going to create a new text document. And we're going to call it caret underscore on underscore a underscore stick. Make sure the underscores are there. That's how Minecraft identifies that item. And then give the file extension .json. And then you save. Now we're going to open that. Okay. So inside this caret on a stick.json file, we want to identify specifics on how we are going to create this custom item. Because again, we cannot just implement a new item into Minecraft, right? We need to use something that's already provided in the base game. So to do this, we are going to use the caret on the stick, because the caret on the stick allows you to detect right clicks, as Lance will show you in a little bit. So I'm going to quickly create 2 curly brackets. And by the way, I will also put this into the Minecraft Tuesday chat. 2 curly brackets. Inside, you're going to want parent, colon, and then inside quotations, item/generated, comma, in quotations, textures, colon, open curly bracket, and then again in quotations, layer 0, colon, and then quotations again, Minecraft, colon, item/caret on a stick, not sticky, caret on a stick. Now once you get to the end of that, comma after this second close curly bracket right here. In quotations, overrides, and then colon, open curly bracket, not curly bracket, open box bracket. And in here, this is where we're going to define specifics, okay? So we don't want all caret on a sticks in our game to be a pew pew. So we're going to define what types of caret on a sticks will be a pew pew. And I'm going to teach you how to get this item in game later. So here we're going to type in predicate within quotations, colon. I don't know why it's auto-generating this stuff. Okay, and then open another curly brackets inside quotations, custom underscore model underscore data. Now this is what defines what kind of caret on a stick will be used. So each item will be given a custom number that is tied to it. And that number defines whether or not it gets the custom model texture or not. We're going to type in our custom model data as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I find it good practice to use six-digit codes. That way you have a wide array of options for what can be defined for a caret on the stick. Where do you put what files, Adrian? I'm sorry, I missed that.
The JSON file from the BLOCKBENCH, like when you exported something and then you moved it somewhere.
Okay. Are you on Mac or Windows?
I'm on Windows.
Okay, if you're on Windows, you should be able to find it. Do you remember when we opened the pack folder?
Resource packs?
In the resource packs, we created a new resource pack, assets, Minecraft,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You want to go into assets, Minecraft, and then models, item,
Mm-hmm.
and then go into custom. And then you should see up here, there's a little search bar, right?
Yeah.
If you click on that search bar and then copy using Control C, you can paste that in to the search bar that BLOCKBENCH gives you. So if I were to do this again, file, export, export block/item model. Up here, you'll see that same search bar. If you just click on that and then Control V, it should direct you to that bar. And then you can just place it there.
Right.
Okay.
And what about the other thing, the actual model, like
Oh,
.bb
the
model or something?
.bb model, you just want
Yeah.
to make sure that it isn't in your resource pack. I put it in my documents folder, but it's completely up to you. Wherever you can easily access it is where you should put it.
Oh, okay.
Because
All right.
it's like a Unity project file, right? You
Mm-hmm.
open it within the Unity hub. It's the same thing, right? It's how you open the Blockbench file, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I see that.
Okay. Do you need me to go over the setting up of the carrot on a stick.json? Or
No, I was following that.
okay.
So
So after this comma we have right here, I'm gonna go into quotations, model. Now this is where we define our. So we colon quotations item slash custom slash pew pew. And then we're done. This should be all we have in a carrot on a stick.json file. So Control S to save it. And now if we go into Minecraft, options, resource pack, and then enable our little Minecraft Tuesday resource pack, press done. Whenever it chooses to load. Your resource pack should be enabled, but you'll notice this regular carrot on a stick I have does not turn into pew pew. To fix this, what you'll need to do, let me make sure I say that. I did save that. That's right. To do this, we're going to open up MC Stacker. Again, MC Stacker is like the Bible for all data pack creators, so you will use it all the time. In MC Stacker, we want to click on the give command this time, /give. We're going to type in the target as @a because we're not putting this into a data pack this time. We're going to use a command block. We'll say the target is @a by selecting all players in this little dropdown. And then you should see item unset here. We want to change that to carrot on a stick. So in this filter bar, we can type in carrot on, and it should automatically set to carrot on a stick. Now we're gonna give this a name. We're gonna call it pew pew and set the color to red and bold and underline it just for fun, right? You can set it to anything you want. The name and the lore does not change how this works. I'm gonna set the lore to AHS game dev. Again, bold, underline. And I'm going to make this unbreakable. Carrots on a stick don't usually break because they don't have durability, but you should probably still set it to unbreakable. It's just good practice. Custom model data. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you remember, we defined that in our little JSON file. So you want to set that to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Custom tags. So I'm going to be honest. I'm not really sure why resource packers do this, but it's something we do. You want to set the custom tag of said custom item to the name of your resource pack. So in my case, Minecraft Tuesday, :1b. It's something we do. I don't get it, but you can do it. Or you should do it. So once we've done all this, we should have all the information we need to copy this command right here. So if we press the little copy button, we can head back into Minecraft. Now we're going to give ourselves a command block. So type into the chat box /give @a with the @ not the word @ give @a. And then if you type in command block, you can press tab and autocomplete to the command block. And if we press enter, we should get a command block in our inventory. Can I place this here? It's doing that thing again. You do not need to worry about this happening to your command blocks. It is a bug my game has. I'm not really sure why. So whenever you get this command block, you place it down, right-click it, and you should see a little console command right here. We're going to Control V to paste your command that you copied out of MC Stacker in here. I want to keep it on impulse because I only want this command to run one time. Think of it like a function file. And we're going to set it to needs redstone. By doing this, if we place a little button on it, and then click on that button, we get our pew pew. If I can find it. Yeah, there you go. You see the little thing under your hand. That is pew pew. Now you might be wondering why it is so weirdly placed in my hand. And that's because we didn't set up the positioning of the item, which we can do in BLOCKBENCH. So to do that, we click the little display button right here in BLOCKBENCH. And then you'll see you have a little player character right here that you can use to set the display. And you will see the different display types that you have over here. Starting with third person right, we're going to drag this to a display that looks good to you. I'm going to, again with it pivoting on the wrong axis, it confuses me. How did I get to the display window? There should be a text that says display up here. Okay. So after you struggle to get it into position, as such, and then I can do that and do that there, and then you can do that on the left side too. I don't want to because you're probably not gonna set it on the offhand, but you can do the same thing on the left side. Now we set first person. There we go. And we rotate. And then we pull it back. And again, you can set on the left side too, but chances are you're never going to use this in your offhand because it's right click detection, not left click detection. So we can set it like that. We can also shape how it looks on your head. If you ever put on your head, just to make it look a little funny, I'm gonna widen it and then move it up. You have a little thing on your head. You can show how it looks on the ground. You can also resize it within this window so it looks different in game to how you actually made it. Yeah, there we go. And then within an item frame, I'm not going to worry about that, but you can always change the item frame look. GUI, this one you probably will want to change. It's annoying, so. And then I'll move it up. You might not see it because we haven't set a texture to it. It blends in just a tad. But it is there. There we go. Once we've done this, we can Control S, and it saves directly to the JSON file we have. So once you've saved, you can go back into Minecraft. I think it's function F3. That is not the right command. You can press Escape, Options, Resource Packs, and then you're going to disable the resource pack. Press Done really quickly. And then once it unloads, we're going to go back into resource packs and reload it. So now our setup should be correct. You can see I have the little pew pew in my hand. Now there's one last thing we need to look at with resource packing, and that's textures. We can't have a pew pew that looks like this. Well, you can't see it because it blends in with my skin, but like that, right? So we want to change the texture. So we're going to go into BLOCKBENCH one last time, or maybe a few last times. But we're going to go into Edit. Actually, first we're going to click Paint. Now we want to apply a texture onto each of these two sections, right? Say I want them to have different textures. I'm going to click Create Texture. I'm going to call this one Handle. And then we're going to go Folder. Can I? Huh. That's weird. It should give you a little pop-up here allowing you to pick your folder. But for now, what we're going to do is just press Confirm. I will show you another way of getting it into your folder if that doesn't work. Now this handle texture is going to be applied to the handle group in specific. So if you click on handle and then drag the handle texture onto that group, it should apply the handle texture. And then I want to create another texture, and I'm going to call this barrel. I'm going to click Confirm. Barrel is going to go on the barrel group. So we drag this here, go to handle, we drag this here. Now, we want to paint colors on this. We don't want it looking like that. So we're going to go into handles. I like to paint it onto this color map rather than onto the gun itself. You can do it that way. I'm going to select Pixel Perfect Brush first, and then select a color. I want my barrel to be, or my handle to be grayish. So I'm going to select a gray color. I'm going to make this gray. So you should see the handle is now gray. Now I want the barrel to be black. So I'm going to click on the barrel group, not the barrel texture. And then we're going to paint this black. Huh, that's weird. It just didn't apply a texture to some of these sides. If that happens, just manually place it on to the empty bits. Okay. Now, this looks ugly. We're going to be honest, right? So, first of all, I'm going to make this black just to be consistent. And then second, we're going to add texturing. So I'm going to pick the smooth brush over here, make it slightly gray, and we're going to turn down the opacity. So the opacity just tells you how clear it is. So you might have heard opaque, transparent, translucent. It's like that. So we're going to turn down the opacity real quick. If you see these double arrow things, you can just click and slide, and that turns down opacity. I'm going to turn down my brush size too. And then that did not work out the way it should have worked out. I'm going to turn down opacity just a bit more. And then we highlight like that. Now I'm going to do the same thing with black on here. So that does not look good. I take that back. So the handle is going to stay the way it is. But the trigger will be darker. And there you go. You've textured it. Now we need to save these textures into the texture file, right? So we want to save as. We're going to right click on both of the textures, or each texture individually. Save as. And it should open up to the last resource pack folder that you were in. If it doesn't, you want to navigate to the resource pack folder the same way we did last time. Now, instead of being in the models folder this time, we're going to go back to Minecraft, textures, and inside custom, we're going to place handle.png. And we're going to do the same with barrel. Save as, and this time it should open automatically to the custom textures folder. If it doesn't, you can always navigate to it. And then we're going to save it. Now, we want to remember to Control S on the project still, because it hasn't defined it in the JSON file. Once we save it here, you can go back to Minecraft, Options, Resource Packs, disable it, wait for it to reload, Resource Packs, Minecraft Tuesday, enable, done. Now, if all went according to plan, it is not textured. Let's debug this real quick. That should not have happened. So if I go in here, models, I custom pew.json, just to show you what I'm doing. So you'll see it did define the Huh. Textures. Hey, Adrian, have you been following along?
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me, did it work for you? Textures started.
I'm. Hold on.
Because theoretically, this should have worked.
I got. It's all black, but there's a single square that's pink. Which
That's because you probably didn't color that square. Did you color a square pink?
no, all my squares were like gray and black.
Okay. That's really weird. Lance, do you have any input?
I messed up something back in like the file editing stage, and it has not worked.
Okay. So this should be how textures usually work. I'm not sure what is going on as of right now. If I figure it out, I will put it in the Minecraft Tuesday chat and ping you all. But that should be it for resource packs. You have a gun now. Lance, if you want to take it away with right-click detection.
Okay, sure. We have 9 minutes. This is like 3 lines of code. I can get that done.
Okay.
So, right-click detection, we're using carrot on a stick, right? So if you go to statistics, you'll see that carrot on a stick is actually part of the items used thing. So this using a carrot on a stick to detect right clicks is actually bugged, and you're not supposed to be able to do it, but for some reason we can. So we can detect that every time that this goes up. We can execute a command every time this goes up, because like remember scoreboards, we can use statistics to get values into scoreboards. So if we go to tick or load.mc function, I added a bunch of hashtags to disable this code because we don't need it. We do scoreboard. That is not what I wanted. Objectives. And then we add right click. You know what? That's good enough spelling. We can add a scoreboard, or we can add like statistics to check whether.
Lance,
Yeah.
you're not sharing your whole screen, just so you know.
Man. Wait, I'm still not sharing my whole screen. I'm still just sharing VS Code. Okay. Let me actually just share my screen. Okay, as I was saying, we create this scoreboard to this statistic goes up. So in order to do that, we create a new scoreboard, scoreboard objectives add, and I'll name it right click because we want to detect my right click. Minecraft.used Minecraft carrot on a stick. Oh. Let me just autofill it over here. So now if I reload my and set the scoreboard objectives to display the carrot on a stick, it goes up every time we right click. And like last time when we did with the sneak, we would set it to 1 if we were right clicking and 0 after we were done. We're basically doing the exact same thing here. Also, since we have the custom model data on our carrot on a stick, we can also include that to we can also include checking whether the entity is holding that specific custom model data to make like unique carrot on a stick. Because you don't want to just hand a random person a carrot on a stick that can fire a raycast, right? So in order to do that, we execute if the entity, and this for player, NBT data is basically like it's values that are stored to check whether a certain entity is doing something. So we are currently checking the NBT data for whether a specific player is holding something here. So we do selected item, then colon, insert the ID for the carrot on a stick. Specify that we only want one. And then here we can add the specification that we only want carrot on a sticks with the custom model data 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So what this does, it detects first, are we holding carrot on a stick? If yes, then check whether we're only holding one of it, and then after that, check to see whether the tag of the carrot on a stick is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now we can run our other, or now we can run the command that checks if our right-click score is 1. And now we just run whatever command we want at our location. Oh, I accidentally just delete the AHS. I'll just run some random one. And now after we're done doing that, we want to set the right-click counter to 0 to make sure that we don't spawn an infinite amount of pigs. Because once we set it to more than 1, it's going to stay at more than 1 unless acted on by an outside force. So these are actually all this is all the code you need to check for a right-click detection. So we head back to we make sure I'm using a correct carrot on a stick. Wait a minute. Why is not working here? Oh, over here I did right instead of right. And now it summons a pig whenever you right-click. Oh yeah, one of the hazards of using this is that pigs will now follow you. Seeing how it's 5:29, should we run raycasts now or wait for next meeting? Because raycasts are pretty complicated.
Yeah, I think we should close it off for now.
Anywho, that would be all.
Oh yeah, sure, I can.
We will simple raycast.
Why are you like so far away? Why is your mic like so?
Oh, I'm sorry. I did not realize that. that will be all for today's meeting. Next meeting, the first thing we will do is run through that simple raycast Lance had planned, and then after that, Lance, what else did you have planned for the next meeting?
I think we should introduce the. Well, first I'll do a quick run over like the rest of NBT data and how to change it, and then I think we should start introducing like a project we can do.
Okay, then we will introduce the project next week, which will carry us into the final week of Minecraft Tuesday. Anywho, thank you all. Meeting adjourned at 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Yippee. See you guys next week. Cool stuff this week, right?